Shalom, shalom, kulam. It's Uzi Ben Yehuda, the By-Aash studies. One thing I want to go over today is stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. Okay? Let me share my screen. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Hold on 1 second. We're about to get into it. All right. Now, as you see, my last video that I just did, I broke down what By-Aash means. So in case you didn't know, By stands for B'nai Israel. So B'nai Israel, B-Y, By. And Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew is Ash. So you're going to see us primarily, you're going to hear us say we are B'nai Israel. We're going to put the emphasis of Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. We have to do that. And this is why. The reason why we have to do that. Now, some Hebrews may not agree with this, and that's cool. The reason why I have to do this, me personally, because I have been the one that's been repping Afro-Asiatic Hebrew Israelite since 2014. So for me, I'm so invested. I've talked to so many different people from Africa. I understand that my people, they just want to strictly be B'nai Israel, but I have spoken to and opened up the minds of even my African brothers and sisters with the key term Afro-Asiatic. When I let them know, hey, yo, like if I'll get into it right here. What it says right here, it says stop Afro-Asiatic hate. That's for any of us. Afro-Asiatic is Africa and Middle East. Afro-Asiatic stands for Ham and Shem, 2/3 of Noah's sons. Noah had Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? Ham basically represents Africa. Shem represents the Middle East. Japheth represents Europe, the European world, all right? So besides Europe, you have Africa and the Middle East, Asia Minor. That is considered one culture, one continent, right? And it was Ham and Shem together. All right. Now, you see this chart. You see it says the 3 Afro-Asiatic Ham and Shem biblical connection chart, right? You have Cushitic, Eastern Cushitic, Ham. You have Oromo brothers and sisters, and you have Somali. They are Cushitic. They are Ham. They are Eastern Cushitic, right? Oromos may also be known as Ethiopians, but they are Oromo. They are Hamitic. Somalis are Hamitic, but not all. One thing I want to say, one understanding, it's a theory right now, right? In every African country, you have the indigenous people that was there, and you have the other tribes. So Oromo might be indigenous, might be Hamitic, it might be indigenous, but you do have some Shemitic tribes and people that's in the Oromo people. You have Somali. You have Somali. They are mostly a Hamitic, right, nation, but you do have some tribes and some clans that are Shemitic. You also have some Hebrews. You have some B'nai Israel. That's Guracha, right? In the Oromo, they are B'nai Israel, and they are Guracha, the skin black, right? You have some B'nai Israel in Somalia. They are Mado. So in Oromo, Guracha, and Somalia, Mado. You have B'nai Israel, that is Garacha and Mado, in Oromo and Somalia, our people. So you do have Shemitic clans and people in both of these nations. So you do have, and you have some Oromos that understand that we are Israel, that we are the original, right? We are B'nai Israel. You even have some Somalis that understand this as well, right? Regardless of where they are, regardless of their religion, they understand that this is who they are. You have the Yibir clan in Somalia. So that's Cushitic. But we got to stop Afroasiatic hate. That means we have to stop hating toward our Afroasiatic brothers and sisters. See, this right here is Afroasiatic. You got the Cushitic. You got 6, but I just want to focus in on Cushitic, Shemitic, and Egyptian, because these 3 are mentioned in our Torah, and our Tanakh, and our Brit HaKadashah, right? In the Torah, the Tanakh, the Injil, the Nebi'im, the Torah, Nebi'im, Ketubim, the Injil, the Torah, Nebi'im, Ketubim, the Brit HaKadashah, the Old Testament, the New Testament. You get what I'm saying? All right. You have Shemitic, you have Central, and you have Southern. Let's look at Central. You have Central Afro-Arabs. Now, the Afro-Arabs, if you research, go to YouTube, go to Google, check it out, that the Afro-Arabs are having a hard time and they're being persecuted by the other Arabs that look a little bit more fair-skinned, that look a little bit more European, right? They're getting persecuted. They're being discriminated on. You have Afro-Palestinians. You have Afro-Palestinians too. This man right here, I know you can't see it. There was a documentary that was speaking about our people that's in Israel today, the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem, right? This man right here, I don't know if you can see him. I think his name is Jedi. I forgot. I don't, Elder Ali Jedi, or forgive me if I'm not saying his name right. But he said that our people, he said that they have been living in that land. He said, I'm double oppressed. He said he's oppressed because he's African, because he's black, he's African, and he's oppressed because he's Palestinian. So he's being oppressed by just because he's Palestinian, but he also getting because he's Afro-Palestinian, which has been original, which has been living there, original inhabitant of that land for thousands of years. And he said this is what he said. He said, some of our brothers was captured and taken to the Americas as slaves. So this Afro-Palestinian is basically claiming me, so-called African-American, so-called black. We are coming to the knowledge that we're Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews. This Afro-Palestinian is claiming that us Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews is his people. In Israel, the Afro-Arabs, Afro-Palestinians, and Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews, we are not warring with each other. We are at peace in the land, and we are original to the land. The city of peace. Salam, right? Jerusalem, the city of peace. Salam, shalom. Shalom is peace in Hebrew. Salam is peace in Arabic. We are the people of the book. We are the people of that land. Now, let's look at some other Shemitic. This is just Shemitic, y'all. You got Afro-Arabs, Afro-Palestinians, and Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews. Central Shemitic, Afro-Asiatic. Central Shemitic, right? Let's look at Southern. Look at this. You have the Tigray, that's Southern Shemitic. You got Amharic, Ethiopians. You got Tigrinya Eritreans, right? That are Southern Shemitic. Check this out, y'all. You got people on this chart that's warring with each other. Why? First of all, they're part of the Afro-Asiatic family. We got to understand that. You see what I'm saying? Tigray is Shemitic. Amharic is Shemitic. Tigrinya Eritrea is Shemitic. Now, you know, amongst Tigray, I don't know how many tribes they have, but you probably got Hamitic and Shemitic tribes. Look at Ethiopians. Ethiopians have like 80-something tribes, but Amharic is one of the Shemitic tribes. Eritrea has 9 tribes. Tigrinya is one of the Shemitic tribes. And they also have Hamitic tribes. You see what I'm saying? So you got the Oromos going through stuff. You got the Tigray going through stuff by other people who are related. You got, this is crazy, y'all. We can't be having this. Then you got the Egyptians. You got the Kemetic, or the Egyptians, right? Mitzrayim. We call them Mitzrayim. You got the By-Aash or Beja of Sudan, the modern descendant of the ancient Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? So we got the Egyptians, Sudanese. We got the Tigray, Amharic, Ethiopian, Tigrinya, Eritrean, Afro-Asiatic, Shemitic Hebrew, so-called African-American. You got Kendrick Lamar right there. You got Afro-Palestinians. You got Afro-Arabs. You got the Roman Somali. We are all family. We need to be coming together as Afro-Asiatic family. That's one thing I want to sit down. If you are Romo, if you are Somali, if you're Afro-Arab, if you're Afro-Palestinian, if you are Tigray, if you are Amharic Ethiopian, if you are Tigrinya Eritrea, if you are from Beja, Sudan, we need to have a conference. We need to come together, sit down, and view ourselves as related, as together, as the Afro-Asiatic family. We could probably start something called Afro-Asiatic Unite, AAU, right? Me, I represent Ash, which is Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew, right? Because I'm Afro-Asiatic, I'm Shemitic, and I'm Hebrew. But we are B'nai Israel, you know what I'm saying? So I did this sign so we can stop Afro-Asiatic hate. You know, it's really to stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. But I just wanted to show you what Afro-Asiatic was. That's Ham and Shem. Now I'm going to just show you Central and Southern Shemitic. This is Shemitic. This is we're Afro-Asiatic and we're Shemitic, right? Check this out. You got Kendrick Lamar. You got a Hebrew sister. You got the Afro-Palestinians, Afro-Arabs. They're Central Shemitic. You got Nipsey. You got Tiffany Haddish. You know what I'm saying? You got Tigrinya Eritreans. Because Nipsey father, Tiffany Haddish father they're both Habesha, which was Eritrean, Tigrinya tribe, right? Their mothers was so-called African American, right? So their mothers are Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews, but their fathers is Afro-Asiatic Southern Shemitic. So their mother is Afro-Asiatic Central Shemitic, and they are Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews. Ash, or By-Aash, B'nai Israel - Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews. Their father is Habesha, right? Their father is Afro-Asiatic, Southern Shemitic, and they're Habesha. You know what I'm saying? So we're connected. The language, the culture, the land is close to each other. We're connected. So this is Shemitic. This is just Shemitic. This is Central Shemitic, and this is Southern Shemitic. So if you're hating on the Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew male or woman, you're anti-Shemitic. You're with us, with Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew, with us, specifically the so-called African Americans, the so-called Black people, the so-called Negroes, the colors, the coons, the niggas, us, like specifically us, us, you'll really be you're By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. So you're anti-By-Aash. Because remember, By means B'nai Israel. We're the children of Israel. We're from the 12 tribes of Israel. We are B'nai Israel. That's written in the Torah. So you're anti-By, anti-B'nai Israel. And then we come from the Africa and Middle East. You know, we come from Edom. We come from that continent. You know, and we call ourselves Ash, which is Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. So you like double, triple. Then we come from Asia Minor, right? So first of all, Israel sits on the African tectonic plate. So you're anti-African, you're anti-East African, because Israel is Northeast African. Secondly, we're Afro-Asiatic. Then you're anti-Afro-Asiatic. Third, we Shemitic or Semitic. Then you're anti-Shemitic. Fourth, we come from Asia Minor. So we're Asians too. You know what I'm saying? We're melanated. We are Asia Minor. You know, we are the melanated original A, because Mesopotamia, the origin of civilization, is in Asia Minor, if we want to be technical. So the first man is Afro-Asiatic. You see what I'm saying? So not only are you anti-African, anti-B'nai Israel, anti-Afro-Asiatic, anti-Shemitic, anti-Hebrew, and anti-Asiatic. You know what I'm saying? So we fit all that. We fit all that. You know what I'm saying? So even if other people who are the same, you hate on us, that's what you are. So let's stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. So that's just us, the so-called African-American man and woman who's really Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. So for short, we just call ourselves By-Aash. Primarily B'nai Israel, the children of Israel, that's written in the Torah and the Quran. But for full, we By-Aash with the emphasis of Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. Right? Then you have our other brothers, the Afro-Palestinians, and the Afro-Arabs, that's Central Shemitic right there with us. Then you have our other brothers, our Southern Shemitic brothers, sisters. You know, you got our Eritreans, you got the Ethiopians, you got the Tigray. Those are our people too, man. So if you hate on Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrews, if you persecute and hate on Afro-Palestinians, Afro-Arabs, if you hate on Tigrenya Eritreans, if you hate on Amharic Ethiopians, if you hate on Tigray, if we hating amongst ourselves, we're being anti-Shemitic, y'all, because there's tribal wars, clan wars. We're warring against ourselves, so we are guilty of being anti-Shemitic ourselves. We can't do that. Not okay. All right. This is basically kind of like the seal, the logo of B'nai Israel. You see that? You see B'nai Israel. This is B'nai Israel in the Paleo. And right there, you see Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. So this is the B'nai Israel / By-Aash logo, seal. Okay. Now, let me speak on this. Now, this right here, we was taken from the north, like Israel is 12 tribes, and it was split. The 10 northern tribes is B'nai Israel. The southern tribe is the kingdom of Yehuda, right? Judah. Now, when 70 AD came, because the northern tribe is 722 BC was already basically taken out of Israel, some may have remained. The majority chunk was Yehuda, Judah, that was left in 70 AD. That don't mean every single person was just Judah. You probably had some Benjamin, you had some Levi, and you probably had some remnants of the other 10 that was probably there lingering around that was left. You know, that's possible. But mostly, you know, we are Yehuda, right? But then as we travel to different parts of Africa, different parts of the world, we could have intermingled and connected with our other northern brothers, you know. But my whole point is, this says Lion of Yehuda. So this is the B'nai Israel Lion of Yehuda seal, okay? The tribe of Judah, the Lion of Yehuda seal. So this is something I did, right? So we got to stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. This is our ancient flag, 1446 BCE. That don't mean this was the actual flag. These are the colors that represent when our nation was first established, right? With Moshe, Aharon, you know, some Miriam, you know, Yahoshua and Caleb when they went into, you know, 40 years in the wilderness. These are the colors of the tabernacle. These are the colors of when we first was established as a nation. So this is our official flag. This is our ancient flag, 1446 BCE, right? No cap. Now, because of 70 AD, and we was exiled amongst the nation, this is the diaspora colors. So our first flag, our colors is this, but we got two flags, y'all. First, we got to give homage to our ancestors and how we was established. But we don't put in a lot of work, pain, blood. We don't did a lot of stuff. And I'm waking up under these colors. So I got to put some respect on this too. Some Hebrews try to divide it like, no, pick this over this. I'm not going to do that. Look, if you rock with the ancient colors, which we all do, this is all of our flags. And they say, Israel, this is our flag. It's our primary flag. But this is our diaspora flag. And I was able to actually have this certified, right, and established and declared in 2018. Okay, so this is real. So you got 1446 BCE, and then you have 2018 AD. But we got to stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. So if you see these things, you hating on us, you're being anti-By-Aash anti-Shemitic, and that's you know, stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. This right here. Stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. Some people are, if you're anti-children of Israel, committing violent hate crimes, genocide, you're anti-so-called African-American, even though we are B'nai Israel, that's our true identity, right? Even though we are B'nai Israel, we're Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew, we're B'nai Israel slash By-Aash. A lot of us may not still know that. So under these names, you're hating on us. We're getting persecuted under this. You're anti-By-Aash, you're anti-Shemitic. That's a hate crime. That's an anti-Shemitic hate crime. The transatlantic slave trade, was really the transatlantic slave holocaust. It was an anti-By-Aash, anti-Shemitic hate thing that happened to our people. You know, if you're doing racism, you're anti-Yehuda or Yehud, Judah. You're anti-Shemitic. You're anti-Shemitic Hebrew, anti-Shemitic, anti-Afro-Asiatic, anti-Israelite, anti-Afro-Asiatic Shemitic. You know what I'm saying? Anti-Hebrew, anti-Northeast African. If you're implementing white supremacy, if you're anti-black, we don't use, black and African American. We declaring ourselves as B'nai Israel, right? Afro-Asiatic Shemitic Hebrew. If you deal with hate, if you're being anti-Semitic or anti-B'nai Israel, stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. We're trying to put everybody on notice that these are the things we recall. These are the things that's happening to us. So just stop it. So overall, here's just the big sign. Stop By-Aash anti-Shemitic hate. For those who are so-called African Americans, I pray that you are waking up to who you are, who we are, that these things that's happening to our people is written in the scripture. This is hate. Psalm 83 talks about the worldwide conspiracy to make sure that the nation of Israel is no longer remembered and that we would be few in number. That our nation was destroyed and the name is no longer remembered. So it's a genocide. It's a population control. It's a trying to crush our culture, our spirit, our nation. It's purposeful. It's a conspiracy. They're conspiring, but it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a written conspiracy that we know that these people are doing this and they have made a covenant to do this. With being heterophobia, somehow B'nai Israel, we are be fruitful, multiply. We are a heterosexual nation, and people are trying to be anti-Shemitic. They're anti-By-Aash, anti-Shemitic toward us and our views and us building our nation. We lost 100 million people during the transatlantic slave trade. Then how many people we lost during slavery with the lynchings and biological warfare, all these different warfares, all these different things that's happening to us. For us, don't come to us, because then that's another genocidal program when you're trying to dictate to us. The Creator blessed B'nai Israel, saying we shall be fruitful and multiply. That's what we're going to do. We will be as many as the stars. So if you have a problem with us having a lot of children, us having polygyny, man having more than one wife, having a bunch of children, you have an anti-Shemitic hateful spirit on you. You're anti-By-Aash, you're anti-Shemitic. We was here before any different groups and movements, and we still haven't got our reparations. We still haven't been recognized. We still haven't gotten anything, no justice at all. And we're still crying for justice. We're still talking about economics. You owe us. You see what I'm saying? That's what's been owed. That's what you stated. So you have everybody else in the front, getting in front of the line, pushing us back, pushing us out of the way like we don't exist. When everyone who has come here, if you are a foreigner, anybody, you have to give homage to my ancestors, blood, sweat, and tears, who died and did all these things, who didn't have an education, who went through all these things so others can have a better life, have privilege. But us who come from the people, we still haven't received the justice yet. We're still asking for justice. We haven't been paid. We haven't been respected. But others are being respected. So y'all got to humble yourself down and think about that. You're welcome. And then all the inventions that we did, but we didn't know about patents. We didn't know about trademarks. We didn't know about copyrights. We didn't know how to read and write. So you have a lot of people that's on these inventions that they didn't do it at all. It was us. that did it. But a slave didn't get no money, no credit, or anything. So you have a bunch of things that's on the books that you may think the people here did it, but it was actually us. Our stuff was stolen. We was kidnapped, robbed, and stolen. So we have to stop the By-Aash hate, stop the anti-Shemitic hate. Even if you say that you are a Semitic people and you're discriminating against us, if you're calling us names, if you're calling us niggas, if you're calling us coon, if you're calling us cushy, if you're calling us all these different names in your language, that's anti-Shemitic. That's anti-By-Aash. So from this day, we're declaring who we are. We're letting amongst ourselves, we're letting the world know, and we need people on the watch, but we got to start calling this stuff out. So us, the world, the UN, everybody can know who we are and that we're being persecuted. So I just want to say, let me stop this. Okay. Oh, shalom, shalom. Yeah, so all right, so as we can see, so in conclusion, I showed you Central Shemitic, Southern Shemitic, right? You have the Tigrinya language, you have the Amharic, the Ge'ez, right, which is the East African language. Basically, most of their languages have Hebrew and have Arabic, right? And of course, you know that when it comes down to the origin of civilization, that starts in what we call Mesopotamia, right? You have the Fertile Crescent. Hold on one second. Let me show you something that I have. Let me get out of this and show you something real quick. Hold on, you all. I'm gonna show you something else just to show you where, because the Garden of Eden is by the Iraq, Iran, Kuwait border. It's in the Shemitic part, because the Middle East is basically the Shemitic part. I'm gonna show you the borders. Hold on one second. I'm gonna share my screen one more time. All right. Now check this out. Now, the Iraq, Iran, Kuwait borders, right? Hold on one second. Let me get something else here. Bible Hub. Genesis chapter 2. All right. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm gonna go to here. All right. It says, so this is Genesis chapter 2. We're gonna start at verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were completed in all their array. And on the seventh day, right, the Shabbat, Friday night to Saturday night. Some people have different things. I'm just telling you what B'nai Israel, what we do. B'nai Israel, By-Aash, this is what we deal with. All right. Until further notice, until we, And on the seventh day, Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and set it apart, blessed because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. These are the births of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh Elohim made earth and heavens, right? Now no shrub of the field was yet on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up. For Yahweh Elohim had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. 7. And Elohim and Yahweh Elohim formed the man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils breath of life, and the man became a living being. 8. And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden in Eden to the east. Right? And Elohim planted a garden in Eden to the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground, Yahweh Elohim made every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from it there it divided and became 4 riverheads. Now, right here, this is the beginning. This is where Yah planted the garden, the Iraq-Iran Kuwait border, where it came, the 4 riverheads. You got the Tigris, Euphrates River, and then let's keep going. The name of the first is Pishon. It's the one surrounding the entire land of Hawilah. That would be Saudi Arabia, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. The bitumen is there, and the shoha stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Cush. Now, some people say there's 2 Cush. There's Cush in India, and there's Cush in Ethiopia. So some people are saying that the Gihon River actually goes into Ethiopia. So just keep that in mind. All right. 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. It is the one that goes toward the east of Ashur. And the 4th river is Euphrates. All right. So let's look at this. You got the Euphrates River right here. Right? So right here, the so-called Middle East, this is a part of Eden. He said eastward in Eden. This is east. Where's west? West, now we're going Saudi Arabia. We crossed the Red Sea. Now we're in Africa. Right? So hold on. You have a river that's supposed to be going through Ethiopia. And you got a river in Euphrates. So you have from the Euphrates to the Nile River, Egypt. Euphrates to the Gihon, which is Ethiopia, right? So from Euphrates to the Nile, from Euphrates to Gihon, this is a Shemitic and Hamitic situation, all as one, because it starts from these rivers, the 4 rivers right here. And then, so you got 2 rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers that's in the Middle East. You have the Nile and the Gihon River that's in Africa. So you got 2 rivers in the Middle East, so-called Middle East, which would be Eden. This is Eastern Eden. You got 2 rivers. You got 2 rivers that's going to flow through what we call Africa, through westward Eden. And if you keep going west, you end up in West Africa, and then you have the transatlantic ocean. I mean, you have the Atlantic Ocean. So from Adam, from the Euphrates to the river Nile, Abraham, from the Euphrates to the river Nile, Israel, from the Euphrates to the river Nile. This is prime real estate, starting in Shemitic area, though, because the Middle East, all this is Shem. And then when you get to Africa, it's Ham, right? The first civilization, Sumeria, which is in Mesopotamia, which is in Shemitic area. You see the Fertile Crescent. Fertile gives you a breakdown of birth. So the birth of the nations, the birth of the world, the birth of civilization, even where Adam and Hawa, the first human beings, was placed, it's in the Fertile Crescent. You see what I'm saying? This is the birth. It starts here and it curves over to Egypt. So we started, our ancestor, Abraham. First of all, Adam and Hawa was placed in Eastern Eden. So they was placed in Mesopotamia. They were placed in the Fertile Crescent, the beginning of man, woman. The beginning of our nation, Abraham, our forefather, right? The beginning of Shem, Shemitic. So it starts here. Language starts here. Then it curves over to Egypt. Remember, we start here. Then you got Canaan, which is Israel. Then you got Egypt. So you got Mesopotamia, Sumeria. You got Canaan, which is Israel, Egypt. Mesopotamia, Babylon, right? Sumeria, Israel, Canaan, Egypt. Starting here, right? Going to Egypt and the birth of a nation, right? So we were birthed out of Egypt and went back to, we was birthed in Hamitic land and went back to Shemitic land. So, and then you have the Shemitic people. You got the Arab languages. That's Shemitic. You know, so you see, man, you got, look at this area. You got the Akkadian, you got the Amharic, you got the Hebrew, the Moabite, the Nabeen. You got Ge'ez, Amharic. You got Tigrinya, Tigray, right? All these languages are similar, you all. Everything starts over here. Adam and Eve started over here in the Shemitic area, in Mesopotamia area. Then Abraham was born in this area. Then Abraham is told from the Euphrates to the Nile. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. Do I have something else with this? It's taking a while to load. Let me see. Shalom, shalom, y'all. I don't know if I'm missing it. Hold on. Something going on here. I'm gonna just stop that. I'm gonna get back to the stream. Shalom, shalom. You know, I don't have no problem with Bantu, but I hope y'all hear what I'm saying here. You know what I'm saying? That Israel is scattered throughout all the nations. You know what I'm saying? And also our nation, we have Hamitic and Shemitic together. Out of the 12 tribes, you got Ephraim and Manasseh, right? That's Joseph's wife was Kemetic, so she's Hamitic. So Israel, we do have Hamitic. We have a mixture, you know. But Israel nation is a Shemitic link, is a Shemitic nation. Okay. And then if you look at, even if you look at Amharic, if you look at Tigrinya, their language, like for example, we say, because it's not just, I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's not just Congo, Bantu, it's not just that, you know, because we are Shemitic, right? So for example, where's the list at? Hold on one second. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all the let me show some. All right, let me show y'all this. Hey, let me share my screen. Let me show y'all this. But man, hey, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Much love to my Bantu Hebrews. Much love to all y'all, man. We family. So I ain't discriminating. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to, you know, just for the record for that. All right, now check this out, y'all. Can y'all see this? Let me see. Can y'all see this? Let me present this. a little bit better. Make sure y'all can see this. All right. Now, with this, again, you have with Afro-Asiatic, you have Berber, Chadic, Cushitic, Ometic, Shemitic, and Egyptian, right? And Yah just told you with Adam and Hawa that he planted a garden and placed them eastward in Eden, right? Where the Euphrates River is at. So we know that's in Iraq, Iran, Kuwait border. And the Middle East is the Shemitic area, the Shemitic land. And then it goes from the Euphrates. Israel's land is from the Euphrates to the River Nile. So that's basically East Africa. So you got from the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, or eastward in Eden, to the Horn of Africa. You got Egypt, you got Sudan, you got Ethiopia, you got Eritrea, right? You got Somalia, Oromo. You got these areas where everything is cut off like that. It's a box right there, right? Let me show you something else. So when you see, I think I should have another one. I don't know why it ain't showing. That's weird. But you do look, you do have some Chad, you do have some Afro-Asiatic people from Chad, Cameroon, Nigeria. So you do, so the upper part of Africa is Afro-Asiatic, and then like that middle part, if I'm not mistaken, is Niger, Congo, Bantu, right? But we are Afro-Asiatic though, because Afro-Asiatic, the origin of civilization, when you think about Egypt, when you think about Sumeria, when you think about Mesopotamia, when you think about Israel, when you think about Jordan, when you think about all these things, they're all Afro-Asiatic, right? And Afro-Asiatic's Ham and Shem. It's all from the river Euphrates to the river Nile, all right there, that chunk. That's where we at now. People could have migrated to different places. We were taken to different lands, but we got to make sure that we understand that the beginning, the conception, the birth, the Fertile Crescent is in that area. But people can also have different views. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me go back. All right, but hey, I just want to say, may y'all bless you, may y'all keep you, may he shine his face upon you, give you peace. I pray that we can still rock, and we can still go forth, you know what I'm saying, and we can still be united. So, shalom, shalom.